Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. So I'm going to Scott Selections here for Sunday, October 30th. For again today's play of the day, couple plays to go through from yesterday. Starting off with the good news, we had a great day in college football in the joint show with Steen. Ended up going 3-0 on those. Had Missouri, South Carolina under 46 at minus 110. Had Coastal Carolina plus 2.5 at minus 105. And had Marist minus a 9.5 at minus 110. All three of those were sweat-free winners. I believe each of them ended up winning by double digits, so never in doubt on those. Nice 3-0 day for plus 2.77 units. However, for the bad news, the play of the day slump continues as we had a loss in hockey with the Oilers and Flames over 6.5 goals at minus 125 on Bet Online. A lot of chances for both teams. Unfortunately, the game got off to a bit too slow of a start as you had 0 goals in the first period. Then the game picked up, and then you ended up having a lot of opportunities for overtime. But both teams kept hitting the post, and the Flames were down 3-2, had a shot there to send it to overtime, and they hit the post with about 4 minutes to go. Game ended 3-2. So picked up a loss there. Overall, 3-1 day for plus 1.77 units. Still a very nice day, but of course, definitely unfortunate to lose another play of the day video. Definitely a slump. We'll bounce back. We'll bounce out of it. But either way, looking at a matchup in football between the Patriots and the Jets taking place at around 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this matchup, we're going to be looking at a team total in this one. We're going to take the Jets team total under 20.5 at minus 145 on Bet Online. Time recording of 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like the Jets team total under in this spot. First, reasons based on the actual line movement in this game, which I think you could argue is pretty fascinating based on how awful New England looked on Monday night. So we know New England got buried by Chicago at home, and the game was not very close. However, despite that performance, the Patriots have gone from -1 to -3 in this game on the spread, and the total has gone from 41 to 40. So there are a lot of questions going on about the Jets offense. Main reason why, injuries, because the Jets lost a bunch of key pieces last week, and I'm not sure how they're going to recover. They lost Breece Hall, who was their star running back, team high 463 rushing yards and 5 total touchdowns, even had a touchdown last week before he ended up tearing his ACL. They also lost their best offensive lineman in Vera Tucker, who's officially been ruled out for the season, and he is really, really good. So I do think the Jets are going to have a hard time in protection or even just run blocking with him out of the lineup. And they're also missing their leading receiver because Corey Davis was ruled out, I believe, yesterday, and he has a team-high 351 receiving yards. So the Jets are missing their leading running back, their leading wide receiver, and their best offensive lineman. I do think Belichick could potentially be scheming something that could give the Jets problems offensively into this Sunday game. Now, if you want to go through the offensive numbers, even with Hall and Vera Tucker in the lineup and with Davis in the lineup, Zach Wilson has really not been good the last couple of weeks, arguably all season long. And I know that the Jets have been winning anyway. They've really been winning in spite of him in a decent amount of these games. Zach Wilson, for stats, has really been useless in the passing game. He has had less than 122 passing yards in each of the last 2 games, and he's had 0 passing touchdowns in each of the last 3 games. In other words, the Jets really want to run the ball. They don't trust Wilson, and I do think as a result, with Hall out of the lineup, they should have to rely on Wilson more, which could result in some problems. Now, I know they traded for James Robinson, which was a very nice trade by the Jets. However, he's not familiar with the playbook, and according to Salah, he will be very, very limited or potentially not even play in this game. So you're looking at most likely some type of committee with Carter leading the way, probably Ty Johnson there as well, but definitely a weaker committee or a weaker backfield in general, since Robinson will barely be involved in any packages, and Breece Hall, of course, was the best running back by far. So I do think that the Patriots should look better against the ground than they did on Monday night against Justin Fields and the Bears. But to go through Wilson's numbers against the Patriots in his career, he's been awful. And we know that Belichick is extremely, I'd say, cruel to young quarterbacks because they've all been awful against him in the past. And Wilson's no exception. He's faced the Patriots twice in his career, 25 completions out of 43 attempts. Once again, out of a 2-game sample size here, or a game and a half because he got injured in one of them. 261 total passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So it's really going to come down to, do I think Wilson can actually lead the Jets to a decent amount of scoring drives if the ground game isn't clicking as much as it has in the past? I'm skeptical. Let's put it that way. And I do think if you want to go through some historical numbers, the Jets have also been a bit underwhelming at home offensively and against the Patriots in general. The Jets have scored less than 13 points in 2 of their first 3 home games this season. So I do have questions about the Jets, and I know that it's definitely a home game, but it hasn't really mattered for the offense up to this point. Plus, the Jets, here's the historical trend here involving the head-to-head meetings. The Jets have scored less than 18 points in 11 of the last 12 meetings. New England's defense has always put the clamps down on New York, and I do think that could be the case once again because of all the injuries that the Jets are facing. And to go through some trends here, the under is 5-1 in the last 6 games in New York. I expect a very ugly game between these teams. Both teams have quarterback issues. The Jets have a starting quarterback. He's just not very good. The Patriots have two potential quarterbacks, and they're kind of the same guy, but you're not sure who exactly you want to use. Mac Jones got benched midway through last week's game. According to reports, he will be the starter and will probably handle the entire game. But I think New England, as a result, is going to try to run the ball. Stevenson's a good running back. Harris is a pretty good running back as well. I think New England will try to drain a lot of clock, really try to make it easy on Jones to set up some play action options there in the passing game. And I think that New England will try to drain a lot of clock in this game. The Jets also not exactly a big strike offense. And I do think with Wilson's awful passing numbers the last couple of weeks, they should once again struggle to sustain long drives against New England's defense. But I do really think it's interesting that New England got kind of torched on Monday night. They're on a short week, and yet the spread's gone up 2 points, and the total's gone down. So it seems like people really like the Patriots based on, I'd say, sharp movement or how Vegas sees it. They like the Patriots and how they match up against the Jets offense, and I kind of agree based on all the injuries. But I do think it's going to take some time to adjust to life without Vera Tucker, to life without Corey Davis, and to life without Breece Hall. And I don't think facing Belichick is a good combination for New York. I think this game should be ugly. I think the Jets probably end up scoring 17 or so, but 20.5 is a pretty key number there because you do cross the 20 threshold, which means that the Jets either have to score 3 touchdowns to go over or two touchdowns and 3 field goals. I don't see that happening. I see this game finishing somewhere around 2017, something like that. But 20.5 does seem a little bit high, and for that reason, I'm going to take the unders. Play that once again here for Sunday, October 30th is going to be on the Jets team total under 20.5 points at -145 on Bet Online. Bye, everyone.